why doesn't the rest of the board have?
It was that's what I suggested.
Because I've been working on it in my free time since I lost my notes at the last meeting. And I didn't have time to give it to anybody, and I was concerned about Brown Act violations.
Oh, I get that.
And I discussed that with Ms. Cycli, and I gave her my notes for review.
Right.
Since it
Yeah,
would
I'm
be a
just
Brown
saying,
Act violation.
it would be nice to have them here now so that we can follow along.
Yeah, well,
I'd like to have you guys have them too, but
Huh?
I'd like you to have them too to follow along, but it's a Brown Act violation, so.
It's not a Brown Act violation to distribute them here.
I'd have to have enough for everybody, and I don't have it, and I'd get the board packet out at a certain time, so I can give you what I got. I don't have it.
It would be the same as any other material on board pack. There's a board pack and then there's what the public gets when they come through the door.
Yeah, I don't have it.
this is, I've been doing this for like since the last meeting.
I understand.
Since everything got
all
destroyed,
All I was
so.
requesting was that we have a hard copy so that we can follow along while you're reading.
Can
I get a lot
we get
more out
one,
of it if I
Elaine?
can read it
I understand.
print out?
than to hear
Sorry.
somebody read it to me.
So can we get a hard copy of that to get printed out so John can have it, or any of the other
Yeah,
board
go
or
ahead
the
and do
public?
that as long as you guys take it back after the meeting's over.
Okay, I don't have it.
Okay, let's move on.
Or just
Anything else in section 2?
The other option, I think I have it, I can put it on the screen. That'd be helpful.
No, it really isn't. Not the site.
Can you
in the
email
comment
it to me?
section.
I was gonna say, I think I have Joe's comment
All right.
in on
Do you have
my
anything else for
so I can
section
put them
2,
on the screen
Joe?
as shared.
Yeah, quite
Yeah.
a bit actually.
There was one thing though that Director Kern brought up, and I know we brought this up in committee and discussed it, is that I guess hiring of the temps, because there was a concern about people walking off the street asking for a job. And that's still the general manager's allowed to do that, right, under proposed language, and what they're allowed to do right now.
Well, any hires after we make a selection before they're placed in the position, it would come to the board.
I'm referring to person walking off the street said, hey, I want a job.
Yeah, the position would have to be opened and you.
Well, yeah, we would have to have a position open and
Okay.
advertised. Are you talking about announced or unannounced?
The previous situation that happened is what I was referring to. I don't want to name.
Oh.
You know what I'm referring to.
That was practice of past general manager.
Bad
I would say the
practice.
position would have to be defined and then advertised and then accept applications, review and approve, and then brought before the board before voting.
Okay, let's move on. Director Kern.
Okay, wait, can I just get clarity?
Okay.
So are we keeping all of the current language except will we replace 2.2.1 with Director Parent's language?
I'm good with that.
Consensus, is the nodding consensus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Sorry.
And Director Parent, is it okay that I have your copy on the screen up here?
I don't mind, not at all.
Yeah, we can't read it.
Okay, I'll make it bigger.
Rob was gonna try to get one printed.
I can email it to somebody. I don't
Rob's
know if I'm
got it.
online.
He said he's gonna try, so.
What's your next section?
Continue.
How does?
What's the next section, 2.3?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
If we
distributed.
make, is distributing copies do we have anything to worry about with Brown Act?
We have problems with, we distribute the copies as part of the board packet, but if we distribute copies and the copies are not taken by the board directors after the meeting and we shred them, then we should be okay.
So to clarify, it could not be emailed, is that right?
Exactly.
That's why I didn't.
Okay. Rob's trying to get it from his computer and print some.
Next section.
Okay, let's see here. I had just some like eliminate 2.3 or something that was addressed in an earlier section that I don't think we adopted. What are we gonna see?
There were some things that were.
It's about vacancies.
That's
Let's see.
smart.
Yeah, we ran into some redundancy.
2321 citizenship verification.
3, 2.
I guess this is it just seems like something that should be right up front to me. I just kind of changed the language a little bit. Authorization to work, all authors of employment are contingent on verification of employees' right to work in the United States. Within the first 3 days of employment, an employee will be asked to provide original documents verifying employee's right to work and to sign verification form required by federal law. If the employee at any time cannot verify his or her right to work in the United States, SMCSD may be obliged to terminate the employee's employment. But
Okay, so how's that any different from what it says? It's just different wording.
pretty much,
You said you wanted it moved somewhere or something?
Huh?
I felt like it maybe was more appropriate, like right up on top, like start at the top with it, but I guess not, since this
Oh, I
is.
see what you're saying.
Oh, and before we go too far too, Helene, there's no heading for chapter 5 in the TOC.
Yeah, so I have, we got, Director Green noticed that during the
Okay.
personnel meeting, so I'll have our paralegal fix that when we
Okay.
get to finalizing.
Okay, 233, the probationary period.
Wait, hold on, let me stop for a second.
2321 is where we're at.
Oh yeah, 2321. I guess if the wording's the same, there's no reason, I just thought that it was a
Okay.
little bit more clear, but.
Okay, so next one?
Probationary period. I'd like to see it replaced with, there is a 12-month probationary period for each new employee or a former employee who is rehired. The probationary period provides the employee the opportunity to assess the SMCSD and job content and allows the SMCSD to evaluate the new employee and his or her performance. Where am I? During the probationary period, the employee may be discharged by the SMCSD for any reason without notice or appeal. A performance review will be conducted by the employee supervisor prior to completion of the probationary period. On successful completion of the probationary period, an employee will become a regular employee of the SMCSD. An employee promoted to a classification within the SMCSD will serve a 6-month probationary period in the classification for which he or she has been promoted. If the promoted employee fails to pass the probationary period, sorry, this scrolling is screwy. At the sole discretion of the general manager, he or she may displace the least senior employee of the classification for which the employee was promoted. The SMCSD can extend the duration of an employee's probationary period 1 or more times for a total maximum extension of 6 months, if deemed appropriate in the discretion of the general manager. The SMCSD Board of Directors shall be notified of intent to hire or the hiring of a new employee at the closest scheduled board meeting to the hiring event. So, I think there was some issues with probation in the past. So this is kind of an attempt to just, I don't know, nail it down a little bit, clean up the language a little, and it also, you know, denotes that the board will be notified of new hires.
I can't.
Well, right now, the board approves new hires.
And I think that's inappropriate.
Well, with one of the practices that I categorically oppose in this particular provision is that we're putting people who've been promoted on probation again.
Okay.
In my mind, that seems ludicrous. If you're an employee, you've been an employee of the district, say, for 5, 6, 7, 10 years, and then you get a promotion, putting them in probation again seems ludicrous to me. It's counterintuitive to taking care of employees who've taken care of the district.
But just, the reason I did that is because I felt like there should be some way to, you know, just because somebody gets promoted into it doesn't mean that they're up to it.
Have you ever read
That was my
Peter Principle?
No.
rise to the,
You rise to your highest level of incompetency and then
Right.
you stay there. If you can't do the job, we have to have a way of putting you back to where you were.
But a probationary, okay.
It's probation.
So I understand what you're saying, but there are performance requirements for whatever that job is.
And that's
And
probationary.
the evaluations would be
Okay,
indicative
so
of whether they're doing the job or not doing the job.
right, so when you get promoted into a new classification and put back on probation, the failing that probation isn't termination, it's returning to your job classification.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay, all right.
The verbiage or the saying that someone who's been an employee, who's got a promotion, is now back in a probationary status, to me, is insulting as an employee.
So Director Sangster,
Okay.
I don't think.
this is actually quite common in the industry, and a lot of the reasons is because sometimes when you promote an employee, you promote them and then you realize very quickly that they're exceeding what their performance is in this new position. So it's not meant to punish, it's meant to say, okay, we've tried it out, it's really not working out, let's take you back to your old position. So it's not an typically in situations like this, it's not an automatic termination, it's bump back down to your old position without skelly rights. That's what it is.
But the old
Now,
the old wording like talks about that, doesn't it?
Can you repeat what you just said? Sorry.
I'm sorry. The original wording, what I, didn't change. What's here, the white copy, that's it. It specifies that the person can go back into there if it's available. Correct? If the job is open.
If the job is open.
Right.
Okay, so then you run into the situation where if the job is already closed,
And you don't pass, and
you don't pass
Well,
probation,
if, let's say this promotion, you can't cut it.
okay?
And
we backfill
and
the
if we
position?
decide, and the position's closed, it's, somebody's in that position, then you're basically done. I mean, we're sorry, but this is not working out in this promotional position.
Is that where you
So now
go
you're
to
completely out of the
layoffs?
job?
Is that where you go to layoffs of the least senior persons?
Well, that's what I put in here.
No, I
If
don't
you-
think that that's how you would do it. I mean, I think it would just be a straight termination at that point, but I'm gonna defer to Rob to figure out how this works now.
Yeah, there's the $64,000.
I don't think we have had enough employees for it to become a problem. I don't know.
Well, up to this point, the promotions that we've had have left vacant positions that became unauthorized, so they were never filled. So, but in the instance of what this our current policy says is that it serve a probation period of 6 months. To say we promote an operator, within 6 months, we're gonna have backfilled that former position. So that position is no longer available. So either you terminate the person on their probation as the new operator and then put the first one back, or you have to terminate the other one.
Well, so they would both be on probation still.
Well,
They would both be on probation still.
Yeah,
There's
and
no way.
the one that was promoted would be on a 6-month probation, and the other one would be on a 1-year probation.
Exactly.
So
no
I'm
matter
just
how
saying
you look at
that's.
it,
So you have to deal with
you
it.
got
that
two
way.
people that are gonna get the short end of the stick if that's how it's handled because of this probationary issue. I can tell you right now, I've been working for 35 years, and I've had many promotions, and not one time in private and public sector has this promotion ever been a probationary promotion, ever, in 35 years.
And
I don't know.
I will say that I worked for the state for 23 years, and every single position that I obtained for promotion was probationary, every single one.
And that's why we have the probationary period half of
Supervisor was a year probation.
what the new employee probationary period is. So if you're promoted, your probationary period is only 6 months, as opposed to if you're a new hire, it's a 3 months.
But, if you get promoted, sink or swim, I just find it also that much to bump the newest hire that you've just got because the other person just bit off more than he could chew.
Well, hopefully you wouldn't promote somebody that couldn't do it.
You would hope, but
We're pretty.
Well, then why
pretty
have the
small
chapter, right? But then why we have it in print, so. I don't have an answer for that one right off the top of my head. And you work for a state agency?
I work for the state of California.
And that just, it amazes me however.
So I guess no changes, consensus.
Is that the consensus?
I,
I believe so. That's what I'm hearing.
what's the consensus?
I don't think there is one.
Oh, I'm fine with the way it's written, but go ahead. Anybody else have a comment?
Director Fox, do you have any comments on that?
You want to change it, or you want to keep it the way it is?
But I think we maybe have a deadlock actually, maybe two on that.
I don't know.
Well, I kind of agree with Director Sangster, but I also understand the fact that I just don't like the idea of bumping a new hire just because you promoted somebody and they just couldn't cut it. I mean, yeah, you screwed over somebody, so
So the way it's written now, there's no bumping.
Well, we're talking about if we promote somebody and put them on probation,
Right.
and
but
then hire a new person and backfill their position, and then the promoted employee doesn't make the cut and gets returned to his original position, do we just keep it so that we have 2 people in that position now?
So the way the policy is written now, it's ambiguous as to what happens if that promoted employee fails probation.
What happens to that employee if he fails probation?
And that's why I defer to Rob and Kelly
He
and
loses his
Mara
job.
about how I guess it hasn't happened.
So if you promoted somebody and they worked here 10 years, utility worker, you promote them to operator 1, they blow it. They can't do officially. I know you tried them out a bunch of times, but man, they went down there, flipped switches, turned valves,
I would,
thought they were doing the right thing.
well, I would say if they fail probation, there's obviously a cost, so whatever that cause would be would
The
determine.
cause is solely that they're not performing the new position adequately. They're a good employee. They've been here for 10 years, but they're not able to perform under the stress of the new job, and they buckle. You can't do it.
This is just how I'm looking at this, the way it's written, and the fact that it is ambiguous to a person who works in a legal capacity. To me, that exposes us to a great danger of litigation for wrongful termination. Because it's ambiguous now, and if we don't really have a
Might try the
dedicated.
second guy.
Well, except
I'm just saying.
you can terminate a probationary employee without cause.
At any time during the probation.
So,
Does that mean that someone's not gonna litigate?
No, it does not.
But it doesn't mean they're gonna prevail.
But we still have to pay legal fees to defend ourselves, is what I'm saying. It's ambiguous.
But they have to find a lawyer
Doesn't
to
matter
work
how,
out
doesn't
contingency.
matter how you write it, you can still get sued.
But why invite them, is what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Well, that's the reason I wrote what I wrote, because I thought that it defined better what we needed and protected us. That was my reasoning behind it. And again, these are serving suggestions. I'm not like my way or the highway on this.
I have another question in that. So probationary employees technically can't use vacation time or sick time, is that correct?
No, they can use vacation time after 6 months and they can use sick time after 90